My doctor told me no HRT for you. I was sitting in her office one day complaining about my menopause symptoms and asking her about HRT, and she said no HRT for me. So I've had all the usual symptoms, the brain fog, the hot flashes, increased anxiety, joint pain, yes, lots of joint pain, sleep issues. But I've had to figure out how to manage these menopause symptoms without HRT. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 13 tips, lifestyle habits, things that help me to manage my menopause symptoms without HRT. So I've kind of grouped them into categories. Some have to do with movement, some had to do with changes in my diet, and some have to do with how I managed my increased anxiety. So the first thing is I had lots of joint aches and pains, and I found that keeping active, moving, exercise really helped. So I had knee pain for years, I had some hip pain, I had back pain, I had even some wrist pain and ankle pain, and then I also had these weird muscle pains. So I had no idea what was going on until I figured out, and actually a friend told me that she was having the same thing, and we figured out together that it was menopause-related joint aches and pains. So movement really helps joint aches and pains. So that could be strengthening the muscles that support your joints. It could be stretching. It could be walking. It could be gentle yoga. It could be any form of low impact movement exercise that you're going to do. So the best form of exercise is the type of exercise that you will actually do. But when you're postmenopause, you really want to be strengthening the muscles that support your joints, and you really want to be keeping them moving so that you are feeling flexible and mobile. So of course, I'm a yoga teacher. I'm going to tell you that yoga is one of the best ways to keep active, to keep moving postmenopausal, and I really suggest that everybody try it. Never tried yoga? I have a free menopause self-care toolkit that has a yoga for joint pain video in it. You can simply download it. I'll leave a link to it below. But any form of movement is good. As I said, walking, running, dancing, swimming, just keep moving in any way that you can. You don't have to be spending hours at the gym or in a yoga studio. Even 10, 15 minutes a day will help a lot. So I'm sure you know as well, once you're over 40, you want to be focused on strengthening your muscles, because as we get older, we do lose muscle mass, sarcopenia, which puts more pressure on the joints. So you want to be doing some form of strength training if you can, which we also do in yoga. But you can also, use weights, work out at a gym, or if you have weights at home, or just body weight. Body weight is also great. It will help you to keep strong. And then lastly, you want to be doing some form of cardio. It could simply be brisk walking or high intensity training. But I would say if you've never done it before, make sure you consult your doctor first and make sure you are working with an experienced trainer. So that's the first tip, or the first category of tips that will definitely help you to manage your menopause symptoms without HRT. So remember, if you're finding this useful, please remember to like and subscribe. It really helps to support my channel. So just to recap, the first 3 tips, habits are 1, strengthening the muscles that support your joints, 2, stretching the muscles that support your joints, and 3, keeping moving. So the next 3 habits have to do with managing stress and anxiety. So if you're over 40, you're probably dealing with parents, kids, work, lots of things in your life that are stressing you out. You're probably not sleeping great, so you're tired all the time. So you definitely want to have some way to manage your stress and anxiety. And there are 3 things that I do that really help me to manage my increased stress and anxiety. Those are, number 1, having a regular prayer practice, because I believe in the power of prayer. Number 2, having some type of deep breathing practice. Yes, deep breathing works. And number 3, journaling. Journaling also helps. And then number 4, if you know how to meditate, meditation also helps. Again, meditation is really simple. It's not super complicated. But those 4 activities, I do all 4 of them, and they really help me to manage my stress, my increased anxiety, because let me tell you, I was turning into a complete hypochondriac. I was Googling my symptoms constantly, trying to figure out what was going on with me, just simple things that really were not an issue at all. I started to panic about, and my husband was calling me a hot mess. So I get it. I understand the increased stress and anxiety that can come about as a result of being postmenopausal and not being able to take HRT. So the next 4 habits have to do with how I ate, because as we know, when you get into menopause, your estrogen declines, which can have an inflammatory effect on your body. So inflammation increases in your body, which affects your joints and lots of other things. So you want to be trying to eat as much of an anti-inflammatory diet as you possibly can. So I definitely changed how I eat. I tried to cut out or minimize a lot of the things that were considered or are considered inflammatory, which includes things like sugar, white flour, alcohol, processed food, fried food. Now, of course, it's sometimes hard to cut out every single thing, but certainly reducing the inflammatory foods in your diet and adding in anti-inflammatory foods in your diet will help. I will leave a link to a list of foods that are inflammatory and anti-inflammatory in the description below. So I definitely changed how I ate, and it made a huge difference to my joint pain. It helps me to manage my weight, and it is just helps to make you feel overall better. In addition to switching to an anti-inflammatory diet, I also try to eat enough protein, and I also try to drink enough water, because as you get older, sometimes you start to lose that feeling of being thirsty, and we want to make sure that we are hydrated, properly hydrated, especially if you're active. So habit number 11 has to do with sleep. So if you're like me, you're having sleep issues, you're maybe not falling asleep easily at night, or you're waking up in the middle of the night, or you're having hot flashes that wake up in the middle of the night, or you're waking up way early before you really have to wake up. So 2 things that I did to help me sleep better is that I had a nighttime wind down routine, and I also had a morning routine. So my nighttime routine includes things like not eating 3 hours before I have to go to sleep, or drinking for that matter, so I don't have to get up and pee in the middle of the night. I also try and stay off screens at least an hour or 2 before I have to go to sleep. I do my nighttime prayer, my nighttime deep breathing. Sometimes I do a nighttime meditation. I just really have a whole set of things that I do before I go to sleep to help me to calm down and tell my brain that it is time to go to sleep. Now, my routine may not work for you, but it's really important to figure out what are some of the things that you can do for yourself to help you to get a good night's sleep. For some people, this means taking a warm shower or doing some gentle stretches. But whatever it is, see if you can come up with your own nighttime routine. And then I also find that having a morning routine helps with sleep, and it just helps to set your tone for the day. And my morning routine is actually similar to my nighttime routine in that I start my day with prayer. I start my day with deep breathing and meditation, but I also do a more vigorous morning movement practice. I teach 20 minutes of yoga every morning at 8, which gets me moving also. So having a nighttime routine definitely helps with sleep, and I also find that having a morning routine sets the tone for your day, which I'm thinking probably helps you sleep as well. So those are 2 more habits that really helped me, really changed my life. Some of these things I never started to do till I was 50 and postmenopausal. So I really encourage you to try some of these habits because I know they're going to work for you. So the last 3 habits are really important. They are, number 1, having a community, having people around you to support you, to talk to, have girlfriends that you can share with, or a group of women that you can share with that understand what you're going through. I don't know what I would do without my girlfriends, without my community to help me, to support me, to help me to figure out sometimes what is going on. So I really encourage you to be a part of a community or just simply talk to your friends. And related to this is don't forget to socialize. Don't forget to go out and have fun. Don't forget to meet up with your girlfriends or your guy friends, or just to get out of the house and do things and have fun. It's so easy for us to get stuck in a rut where we're doing the same thing over and over again every day, and we really do not we don't remember to have fun. That's what I'm trying to say. We don't remember to have fun. And then lastly, give yourself some grace. Give yourself some grace. Remember, this is a challenging time of life. Being postmenopausal is not easy. It's a challenging time of life. It's not your fault. You're not failing. Lots of stuff going on is hormonal and we have no control over. So give yourself some grace and self-compassion. So just to recap, all these 13 habits that really changed my life postmenopausal, I'm going to have to read them because I don't remember them off the top of my head. So the 13 habits that really changed my life were: number 1, strengthening your joints; number 2, stretching your joints; number 3, keeping moving; number 4, deep breathing; number 5, meditation; number 6, journaling; number 7, having an anti-inflammatory diet; number 8, eating more protein; number 9, drinking more water; and 10, staying away from alcohol. I'm not even sure I mentioned staying away from alcohol, but alcohol can be a big one that can affect your sleep. So either reduce or stop drinking altogether. Now, if you're like me and you don't really want to stop drinking altogether, I get it, but reducing how much you drink will definitely make you feel better and it will help you to sleep better. Number 11, having a nighttime and a morning routine. Number 12, have a community. And number 13, talk to your friends, get out, socialize, have some fun. And then lastly, give yourself some grace. So I hope this helped you. Please remember to download my free menopause self-care toolkit with the video for joint pain. It also has a daily checklist of wellness habits that you can use. It also has some affirmations that I find really helpful in menopause. So let me know in the comments if this helped, and you can watch my next video, which will tell you more about my morning routine. So see you again soon.